Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and this time I have watched Black Panther at 0.25x speed and found 29 new details that you might have missed at regular speed. Now 4 of the details are from Captain America's Civil War that I had kept for this video. And if you want to know those important 4 details, you've got to stay till the end. Now before I begin, please spare me 55 seconds to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Without a VPN, your data is like a postcard that can be seen by a bunch of people before it gets to your final destination. And with ExpressVPN, your data is encrypted and sent through a secure tunnel. Similar to putting that postcard into a super secure envelope, your internet provider can see every website you visit, therefore can steal your personal information. Luckily, ExpressVPN is super easy to use. All you need to do is open it up and click to connect. And to find out how you can get 3 months for absolutely free, click the link in description and visit expressvpn.com/thecanadianlad. But that's not it. ExpressVPN also allows you to unlock content not available in your country. For instance, I can't watch Rick and Morty from Canada, and that's why every time before watching I simply switch my location to UK. So make sure you're protected and unlock some great content with ExpressVPN by clicking on my link down below. Number 1. The movie begins with Anjobu saying millions of years ago a meteorite made of vibranium struck the continent of Africa.
Millions of years ago, a meteorite made of vibranium struck the continent of Africa.
Now the detail in this scene is how Marvel designed an ancient-looking Earth. If you do some research, you'll find out that almost 600 million years ago, the Earth looked incredibly similar to what we see in this movie. The VFX department could have easily got that wrong, and until now I didn't really pay any attention to this detail. But because of slow motion, I kept on staring at this scene like an idiot, and then it finally hit me. Number 2. After winning the ritual combat against M'Baku, we see T'Challa taking the heart-shaped herb for the first time, and immediately after he meets his father in a dream. But notice he wakes up from a grave. But the second time T'Challa drank the herb, he didn't come out of any grave. This implies that the first time he was kept in dark from the truth of his father. But on the second time he came prepared. He came to confront his own ancestors, so he's no longer kept in dark. Therefore the surroundings are bright as well. Number 3. In the final fight between T'Challa and Killmonger, at one point they both go for a heavy punch at the same time, and it creates a huge ripple effect. But if I slow it down, you'll see that T'Challa's ripple effect is purple because the nanites of his suit are purple, whereas Killmonger's one is yellow. So even the blast that they cause through their suit represents their different identity. Number 4. The movie opens in the year 1992, where we see young T'Chaka and Anjobu for the first time. King T'Chaka then activates a beaded bracelet that projects a hologram image of Ulysses Claw. So Wakanda already had a tech like this in the year 1992, but in the present day this hologram projector technology has been replaced by nanotech. This goes to show the technological advancement of Wakanda throughout the years. Number 5. Now this one is more of a debunk than a detail, so let me explain. A lot of you have been telling me about the underside of this ship that looks like the mask of Black Panther. It's like saying Iron Man's helmet looks like it's made of iron. Come on lads, everything inside Wakanda is supposed to reflect the idea of Black Panther, so spotting 1 or 2 things looking like the shape of a Black Panther shouldn't really count as a detail. Number 6. In the ritual combat, Killmonger chose to fight with a spear and a sword, whereas T'Challa fought with a spear and a shield. This symbolizes Killmonger's imperialistic mentality versus T'Challa's, which is fight only when necessary. Now another detail from the same scene, number 7. Killmonger breaks his spear to be better equipped for stabbing, just like Shaka Zulu of South Africa, who was famous for this weapon style, as it maximized the possible kill count with just 1 spear. Number 8. The Wakandan throne has panels of meteorite with Whitman-Statten patterns. Now if you don't know what it is, let me explain. In real life, iron meteorites have complex internal patterns known as Whitman-Statten patterns. So the throne of Wakanda is also made of the very entity that gives their entire society a power greater than the rest of the world. Number 9. King T'Chaka required his subjects to bow down, but in this movie we learned how T'Challa is gonna be a different king than his father. Hence in Infinity War, when Bruce Banner tried to bow down, T'Challa simply said, "We don't do that here."
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
Number 10. When Claw refused to drop Eric Killmonger in Wakanda, Eric went completely rogue, and there was a shootout between him and Claw. But if you watch it in slow motion, you'll see that Claw actually wins the shootout because he managed to shoot right in the middle of Eric's chest. But as Eric was wearing a bulletproof vest, so it had little to no impact on his body. Had it not been for this vest, Claw would have gotten the better of Eric already. Number 11. When T'Challa, Nakia, and Okoye travel to South Korea to extract Ulysses' Claw, pay attention to what they're wearing. The costume department intentionally put Okoye in red, Nakia in green, and T'Challa in a black suit. Now if you put all these colors together, it becomes a Pan-African flag. And this brings my next detail, number 12. When T'Challa, Okoye, and Nakia confront Claw, he escaped with his team in their cars, but they kept on shooting at the car Nakia was driving. Now the sound of the gunfire is an exact rhythm of the Avengers theme song. Thanks to this user from Reddit for sending me this awesome detail. Number 13. After finally catching Claw, Agent Ross goes on to interrogate him, but T'Challa could still hear him because he planted a listening device on Agent Ross's shoulder. Now we as an audience didn't know this until the camera focused on the listening device, but if you watch the previous scene and listen carefully, you'll actually be able to hear a noise when T'Challa placed this device on Ross's shoulder.
Agent Ross.
Yeah.
I do appreciate your help. Your help.
Number 14. Eric Killmonger used to wear his father's vibranium ring on his necklace, but as soon as he takes the throne, he begins to wear it on his right hand just like T'Challa. Number 15. When Killmonger finally sits on the throne, he says the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire.
The sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire.
But by the end of the movie, they both were looking at the sunset, signifying the end of his ruling. Number 16. In this particular scene, Angela Bassett's character knows that Shuri did something offensive without even looking at her. It's because if I slow it down and zoom in, you'll notice that T'Challa was shocked after seeing Shuri giving him the finger, and his mother could easily see the surprised expression on his face, and therefore she knew Shuri must have done something offensive. Number 17. When Shuri was demonstrating the new suit she made for T'Challa, she told him to strike on the suit for testing its kinetic energy storage, and as soon as T'Challa kicks it, some glowing Wakandan text appears on the torso. Now if you translate one chunk of this text, it actually says "I love you, Mom," and you can use this guide found by a Reddit user to translate any Wakandan text to English. Number 18. The heart-shaped herb gives anyone the ability to become Black Panther, but it also heals any existing wounds. If you slow down your playback, you'll clearly see the herb healing the chest wound of T'Challa almost instantaneously. This happened with Eric Killmonger as well. He had a massive cut on the right side of his face from the ritual combat, but it was completely gone as soon as he took the heart-shaped herb. Number 19. Just before sending out Wakandan weaponry to conquer the rest of the world, Killmonger says their weapons are untraceable by metal detectors.
Look at this. A handheld sonic cannon powerful enough to stop a tank, traceable by metal detectors.
And we actually got to see this visually when Nakia, T'Challa, and Okoye went through a metal detector and it failed to detect any vibranium. Number 20. Nakia is always in green, just like the environment is green. It represents her being from the River Tribe, where everybody wears green, and it showcases her ability to blend into any circumstances from the outside world, even though she's a Wakandan herself. 21. When Killmonger returns to his childhood apartment and goes through his father's notebook, a handwritten map is briefly shown together with some coordinates and a text that reads, "If you can reach these coordinates, you have a chance to make it to Wakanda." The coordinates is actually in the African Republic of Rwanda, which sounds very similar to Wakanda. Number 22. When T'Challa apprehends Claw, he says, "Every breath you take is mercy from me."
Every breath you take is mercy from me.
This is a famous line from Jonathan Hickman's new Avengers comic where he said it to Namor. 23. In the opening scene, one of the young children playing basketball calls another child as E, a very common nickname for the name Eric. This was a clue that one of the children was Eric Killmonger, and I count this as a clue is because at this point we didn't know who might turn out to be as Eric. Number 24. Ulysses Claw considers himself a musician and tries to give Agent Ross his mixtape.
It's quite the entourage. You got a mixtape coming out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, there is one.
Yeah, I'll send you the SoundCloud link if you like.
Please, don't make me listen to your music.
This is because in the original comics, Claw is an entity composed of pure sound, and he also used vibranium to gain the power of manipulating sound in the comics. Now, as I said, I kept 4 Black Panther details from Captain America Civil War, so here goes all of them. Number 25. In Captain America Civil War, when Cap, Bucky, and Tony are entering the Winter Soldier facility, Tony picks up just one heat signature.
I got heat signatures.
How many?
One.
They find Zemo, but Black Panther remains hidden. It's because Black Panther's suit completely masks any sort of thermal signatures. Number 26. T'Challa notices his vibranium ring repels against Bucky's arm. And that's why T'Challa was struggling in this scene, because Hydra probably made Bucky's arm using a substance that was supposed to resist Captain America's shield. And because Cap's shield and T'Challa's ring happened to be made of the same thing, so Bucky's arm came very handy while fighting one-on-one against T'Challa. Number 27. Throughout the movie, Black Panther's footsteps are silent, and he makes no sound whenever he falls to the ground. This is because his suit is made of vibranium and absorbs all types of sound. Number 28. At the end of Civil War, the only marks on Cap's shield are from Black Panther's claws. It's because both are made of vibranium. Number 29. Now, as usual, the last detail has nothing to do with me watching this film in slow motion, but it's something that I observed. I just realized that the ending of this movie looked very similar to the ending of Captain America Civil War. Both scenes were similar in the way they were shot and what happens in the scenes. In Civil War, T'Challa stopped Zemo from committing suicide because Zemo needed to serve jail time for everything he has done. However, in this movie, T'Challa could have stopped Eric Killmonger from ending his life by not letting him pull that dagger, but he decided not to because T'Challa sympathized with him and therefore allowed Eric to end his life as he seemed fit. So even though these two scenes are quite similar, but in Civil War, T'Challa decided to let the culprit suffer the consequences of his action. But in this one, he let his cousin die because he didn't want him to suffer anymore. And that depicts how well written the character of Killmonger was. It's not easy to write a villain that makes even the protagonist feel sorry for him. I mean, how can you not like a villain that says death is better than bondage? And with that, I'll end today's video, and I hope you enjoyed all 29 of these details. Coming up next is a very exciting video, so make sure you grab the subscribe button and turn notifications on. And follow me on Instagram where I post updates about my channel. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one.